In the summer of 2024, the United Kingdom has experienced a wave of violence in the aftermath of an attack in Southport, England, that resulted in the death of 3 young girls. While at a Taylor Swift-themed event, Elsie Dot Stancombe, Bebe King, and Alice da Silva Aguiar lost their lives and 10 more people were injured during a mass stabbing. False rumors about the perpetrator triggered protests, violence, and rioting across the United Kingdom. Hello and welcome to Royal Scandal. Please do well to like, subscribe, comment and turn on the notification bell so as not to miss out on any news updates. The UK hasn't seen this kind of civil unrest in years, and after more than a week of chaos, royal observers have noticed that King Charles III has been strangely silent about the growing problem. The somewhat recently coronated King Charles III and his wife Queen Camilla did post a response to the Southport incident on X, formerly known as Twitter, lamenting the tragedy and offering their condolences. But there has been no official word or actions taken by the royal family to cope with or even acknowledge the violent aftermath, and now that King Charles has embarked on his annual summer vacation in Scotland, critics are lambasting the head of state's lack of leadership when said state is in such disarray. The Southport attacks have triggered racist and anti-immigrant violence. The murders of the 3 victims, 7-year-old Elsie Dot Stancombe, 6-year-old Bebe King, and 9-year-old Alice da Silva Aguiar, left the United Kingdom in shock. According to the BBC, a website called Channel 3 now offered up false information about the attacker that incited the violence attributed to Britain's far-right political faction. Channel 3 now claimed that the stabber was an asylum seeker who arrived in the country a year ago, when in reality the crime was perpetrated by Axel Rudakubana, the son of Rwandan migrants who was born in Cardiff, Wales. Other sources alleged that the assailant was Muslim, which has led to some violence and destruction being aimed at mosques and Islamic communities within the country. Even though these early reports were incorrect, the misinformation spread like wildfire on social media, and conservative extremists seemingly exploited the falsehoods to promote their political ideology. Understandably, that has left many UK citizens wondering where the royal family is in all of this uproar. Although King Charles III has reportedly had behind-the-scenes conversations about the riots, per the Telegraph, he has not yet spoken to the British public directly. According to the Telegraph's source, King Charles has said that he had been greatly encouraged by the many examples of community spirit that had countered the aggression and criminality from a few with the compassion and resilience of the many, in telephone conversations with government officials and law enforcement. Thankfully, despite the King's absence at present, the country does seem to be taking a stand against the xenophobic violence. King Charles is missing in action as the UK fights back against the far right. King Charles III has largely pulled back from his public life since he was hit with his cancer crisis, and other members of the royal family have stepped in to cover for him amid his diagnosis. Despite his health issues, many have criticized him for remaining out of the spotlight during such a severe nationwide emergency. However, counter-protesters took things into their own hands and came out in support of the United Kingdom's immigrant population. Some anti-racist activists took part in group demonstrations, while others protected mosques and accommodations housing asylum seekers who had been targets of the riots and attacks. Mourners on the ground in Southport also chose more uplifting tributes in remembrance of the victims, as they memorialized those who were killed and injured with flowers and balloons, and by blowing bubbles en masse. It remains to be seen if these counter-protests have stopped the rioters in their tracks, and according to the BBC, King Charles does not yet have any plans to visit the cities affected by the crisis. Presumably, the condemnation of the King's response won't end until he does something concrete to address or alleviate the discord. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.